Going to be revising chemistry, a topic separating technique, specifically paper chromatography. Alright, so let's look at this example. Example number 3. Alright, so the question reads, in order to compare the impurities present in the electrodes from two lead acid batteries, samples from the electrodes were dissolved in a suitable acid and the resulting solution were chromatographed together with solutions containing 5 unknown metal ions. After treating with a locating agent, the chromatograms were shown below. Alright, so we have our metal ions here, our electrode A and our electrode B here. Alright, so now let's go on to question 3a. So question 3a reads, what is the advantage of using a locating agent in experiment? What is the advantage of using a locating agent in experiment? Alright, so what you need to know is that a locating agent, you need to know what a locating agent is. So a locating agent is simply an agent which helps us, or it helps us to give color to substances which are colorless in the solution here. For example, if the copper 2 ion it was colorless and you add a locating agent to give this copper 2 ion a color which help us to be which will help us to identify it on the chromatography here. So the question is asking us, what is the advantage of using a locating agent in the experiment? Well, the answer is very simple. It reacts with the spots and gives the later colors for easy location. Then we move on to question 3b. So question 3b reads, where the two electrodes from the same manufacturer? Where the two electrodes from the same manufacturer? Give a reason for your answer. The reason is very simple. No, they were not from the same manufacturer. So the reason is that their chromatograms show that they have different ions. Alright, so move on to question 3c. So question 3c reads, in a chromatogram, the RF value of an ion is defined as R is equal to the value distance traveled by the spot of the ion divided by distance traveled by the solvent. So in the chromatogram there, the R value for ion 2 ion is 3/12, which is actually the same as 0.25. Alright, so question C31 reads, what is the R value for C2 positive? So the RC2 value is simple. You use this formula for finding the R value for C2 positive ion. So we're going to say R value for copper 2 ion is equal to distance traveled by the spot of the copper 2 ion divided by the distance traveled by the solvent. So in this case, if we're going to look at the copper ion. So how do you identify the distance? Let me just get my pen. So here you notice that the copper ion is that spot here, from there up to there, from here up to here. So if you look at here where the distance is, you see that it has moved up to 6. So it's the distance the copper 2 ion has moved. So we're going to get our our 6 as the distance moved by the copper 2 ion. Alright, so we'll move on back to the formula. So here, this is where this 6 is coming from. Now this 12 here is just simply the distance moved by the solvent here, which is here. So you divide this 6 by this 12 there. When you do that, you're going to get your answer as 0.5 as the value for copper 2 ion. Thank you for watching MUTALE TV. I hope you have learned one or two things. Please do join us again tomorrow at exactly 20 hours for another chemistry revision.